Today, on behalf of the beautiful people of Oakland, Alameda, and Emeryville, in strong support of Assembly Joint Resolution 31, and inspired by a son of Oakland, Tennessee Representative Justin Jones, a freedom fighter leading the way in Tennessee for Black voters who are being silenced as we speak. AJR 31 calls on Congress to enact legislation that restores and strengthens the full protections of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Let me start with the simple fact that Republicans in Washington seem to have forgotten. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was reauthorized by Republican presidents Nixon, Ford, Reagan, and George W. Bush. A mere 20 years ago, the United States Senate voted 98-0 to restore the Voting Rights Act. This was never a partisan issue. Protecting the right to vote was an American imperative. Under this president's, that United States is gone. What we are living through today harkens back to the Confederacy, back to the poll taxes, the literacy tests, the grandfather clauses, back to deliberate, systemic erasure. And let's call it what it is. The opposites of the Civil Rights Act and the acts around that. It is an attempt to erase Black political power. Trump is using his court to achieve what Trump's party is too unpopular to achieve at the ballot box. In Louisiana v. Calais, 6 conservative justices gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and the last meaningful shield protecting Black voters from racial gerrymandering. The ink was barely dry when they started running at Trump's behest. Tennessee wiped out its only majority Black congressional district. Alabama moved to reinstate maps that federal courts had already struck down as unconstitutional and racially discriminatory. This is beyond political tit for tat. This is an attempt, a coordinated attempt and consolidation of white nationalism. The voters this court abandoned are the same voters whose grandparents were literally beaten back from the polls with poll taxes and literacy tests. The same voters whose right to participate in this democracy was purchased with the blood of Martin Luther King Jr., paid for by John Lewis and people whose bodies were hosed down at the Edmund Pettus Bridge and in the soil of this American South. Black elected officials in the United States rose from 1,500 people in 1970 to over 10,000 today. Every single one of those seats was made possible by the Voting Rights Act. That is what they are trying to take back. That is what this fight is about. Our party has been clear-eyed. Our plan to end this back and forth with fair maps for all but federal Republicans have blocked that path time and time again. Still, AJR 31 calls on Congress to do what only Congress can do and what they have done before, to cross party lines, cross generations, and protect voters of all races. Today, that means passing the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. From Oakland to Memphis, from the hood to the holler, an attack on Black voters anywhere is an attack on all of us. We will not look away. We will not stay quiet, and we will not go back. California will not be silent. I urge and I vote.